What's up, comic book fans, and welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me, and today we got more Sabretooth War with part 6 coming by way of Wolverine issue number 46. And Sabretooth has never really been known much as a mastermind, but in this case, he might have just put together the perfect plan for his revenge tour against Wolverine. And if you guys need to get caught up on this classic 50th anniversary Wolverine event, then I'll place a card at the top of the screen and a link at the end of the video to the Sabretooth War playlist. But if you guys are ready to find out what happened after Sabretooth had the head of Quentin convince Wolverine that they were back in their Team X days, then you guys know what time it is. Let's get it. So we begin this issue right after Wolverine's mind has been taken over by the head of Kid Omega, and he's being forced to see his surroundings through the eyes of his past Team X self. And as we can see, that Wolverine is with Sabretooth in Forge's Krakoan lab, but through Wolverine's eyes, he's seeing all of this as a mission with a teammate, and he's getting his latest orders. And when he looks at a hologram of the underwater lab, for Wolverine, it's a pinpointed location in a random jungle, and they've got to get to this weapon before it falls in the wrong hands. Even the Krakoan scuba gear to Wolverine feels like strapping on a parachute. And as Wolverine sees himself diving out of the cargo plane, he and Sabretooth are actually diving underwater to this hidden lab. Meanwhile, as they head down, Kid Omega begins to harass Sabretooth. Because even though you're making Wolverine take the lead and set off any traps, and you know Forge allowed Wolverine's biosignature access to the lab, you're actually feeling nostalgic about this. He's like, were you friends? And Sabretooth's like, if you don't shut up, I'll feed your ass to the sharks. And Quentin's like, I no longer have an ass thanks to you. But I get the picture. But then we transition to the Exiles team, who had arrived at Krakoa in the last issue, but were then chased out into space by a Sentinel. And when we pick up with them, they're attempting to make another run at landing on Krakoa. And despite warnings from the rest of her team, Nekra commands the ship to unload its heaviest artillery on the Sentinels, which of course does absolutely nothing. But when the Sentinels fire back, Nekra has the ship dive into the water. And it's once they hit the water that Oya gets another vision from Quentin. And now she can see that Sabretooth has also dived into these waters. So she instructs the ship to continue to take them as deep as it can. Then we switch back over to Sabretooth and Wolverine as they continue to cut their way through the lab's defenses. And as they make their way inside, Sabretooth starts trying to get in the head of Wolverine, asking him about the ghosts of the people that he's killed and the ruined lives of the family members, and asking him if he feels messed up inside from all of it. But Wolverine's mind is already filled with the current illusion from Kid Omega, so he really seems to pay Sabretooth no mind with his questioning. As then more sentries begin to awaken and attack Sabretooth and Wolverine. Then we pick back up with the Exiles team as they find a spot to leave their ship and swim the rest of the way. But Nekra is a bit skeptical about these visions that Oya is receiving from Quentin, and she wonders if Creed is also getting these same visions and maybe they could be heading into a trap. And like clockwork, they come across the lab's defenses. But Melter remembers that the ship told them that their suits are adaptable, so he activates his powers and he frees himself and the rest of the team. Then we transition over to the Orchid Station 5, the home base of the Sabretooth. Specifically with one of the headless drones as he's bringing food to Laura Kinney while she pretends to sleep in her cell. And just as soon as he gets close enough, Laura puts her claw straight through him and then proceeds to rip him apart. But then two more drones quickly run in to put Laura back down and retrieve their fallen drone, as well as Laura's food, because she's no longer deserving. Gotta get that meal back. But it's cool, because Laura got exactly what she really wanted. That sensor or hub or whatever it is from the top of the drone's neck that allows access in and out of the door. Then we go back over to Wolverine and Sabretooth and that sentry that they're still fighting with. And as the sentry grabs Sabretooth by the throat, Wolverine actually saves Sabretooth by cutting off the arm of the Sentry. Then Quentin continues to taunt Sabretooth because he was just saved by Wolverine. And it's sad that even though the two of them have pretty much gone through the same things, the Wolverine still turned out good and Sabretooth turned into a lunatic. But then Sabretooth begins to reach for this special gun that he notices. But instead the gun is picked up by Toad of the Exiles as he and the rest of the team appear right in front of Sabretooth. But it means nothing to Sabretooth, who straight up lifts up Toad by his arm and then rips off his arm, throwing the rest of Toad back at the Exiles, and then taking the gun from the ripped off arm. And then he calls in Wolverine to join the party. And since Wolverine is still in his trance, all Sabretooth has to do is to tell them that they've got more hostiles. And when Logan turns around, all he sees are just that, hostiles attacking his partner. And then he turns and runs to save his comrade. But Quentin tries to use this chaotic moment to snap Wolverine out of his trance. Though it doesn't take fast enough, as Melter feels the adamantium claws dig straight in from behind, right before he's ripped apart by Logan, who then begins to come to just in time to question what it is that he's just done. And Sabretooth responds by telling him that he's done good. That's what he's done. You got me in here. And you got me Forge's depowering gun. And then he fires the gun at Wolverine, telling him that, and now at long last, you're gonna get dead and stay that way. No more healing factor, runt. You know what that means. You're about to be nothing but a bad memory. And then he lunges at Wolverine, and ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the issue. Man, y'all, this event has been fire and it's still heating up. And we still got 4 more issues to come. But how do you guys think a depowered Wolverine is going to get up out of this jam? And don't forget, we still haven't seen Grayson Creed yet. So how do you guys think that that's going to play out when we get his reveal? And it looks like Laura might have found her way to get up out of this cell. Do you guys think that she'll make it out of this event alive? And do you think that Marvel is doing Wolverine justice with his 50th anniversary? I'm definitely looking forward to hearing you guys' thoughts on this event so far. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you guys could do so by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership. And I'll make sure that there's a link in the description to join. But with your membership, you guys will gain access to weekly interactive live streams with yours truly. And we could talk about everything that's going down in these issues, plus stuff that you'd like for me to go over in the future. You can preview what's to come on this channel, and we can go over other comic book news. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, member shoutouts, and more in these videos. Or you guys could donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do any of those, then you can still be a huge help to this channel's future by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out. Peace.